In this episode, we speak with Munish Gupta, President and Head of Cybersecurity Advisory at Inspira Enterprise. Munish has been a leader in the cybersecurity advisory space for 20 years, delivering and managing large enterprise cyber programs. He oversees a team of security experts who provide end-to-end cybersecurity services, from consulting and integration to management and support. Munish is also a founding member of Purplebook Cyber Security Community North America. Before joining Inspira, he was associated with Wipro, Infosys, and HCL. His leadership at Wipro and Infosys was integral to cyber consulting and advisory at both companies. I am your host, RJ Lumba. We hope you enjoy the show. If you like the episode, click to follow.
RJ Lumba is the Executive Chairman of Market Insight Media and Managing Partner of GrowthCap. He is the host of Top Consultant, a podcast featuring today's best consultants who advise and provide services to corporations, governments, nonprofits, and other organizations. Executives and key decision makers tune in to Top Consultant to identify the most knowledgeable and experienced consultants for their most important projects.
Munish, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. It's a delight to be with you.
It's my pleasure. I'm looking forward to the candid conversation, Ajay.
Where I thought we could kick off is cyber risk, since this is your area of focus. What do you think most CEOs and executives might not be aware of when it comes to cyber risk and managing security for their organization?
So if I have to talk about the C-level executives when it comes to cyber risk, so I think the traditional cyber risk, they might be aware. There is some kind of awareness in the industry. However, what they are not aware of, because there is a rapid digital transformation is happening. Technology is evolving, and there is a madness, or I would say the rush everywhere to harness the new technology adoption into the organization, be it artificial intelligence or any other new emerging digital adoption is happening. So what happens is that from a C-level, everybody wanted to associate with the new technology, be it a bank or be it something, we are leveraging the latest technology to provide a better experience to our customers. But in that rush, we are missing one thing. What about the privacy of the data? What about the security risk that will be coming with that new technology adoption? So that is what I'm seeing in the industry. So technology adoption, definitely, it's good for the user experience, for efficiency of the operations. But at the same time, that has to be done in a planned way, where first of all, we are seeing it from a cyber risk perspective. How I'm going to ensure the privacy, how I can ensure even for the, let's say, AI adoption in the organization. Are we going to do it in-house, developing some LLMs model, or are we consuming it through the partners? So in both the cases, what can be the risk through the partners? We have to nail it down. And what should be my gating criteria? If my business unit is saying, we wanted to use, let's say, I won't name it, but let's say ChatGPT, kind of a similar structure to response. What kind of a data it is getting trained on, and what kind of a data it will be getting from the end users also. Do we have the consent? All those aspects, nitty-gritty, they have to get into that. And that's what I think the more conversations I'm having these days with the C-level people, of course, I have to play devil's advocate role. I'm telling them, right, technology adoption, digital transmission is good to have, but let's have the house in order, for what purpose we are going to use that and how it has to be done in a more staggered approach to minimize the cyber risk and ensure that the cyber posture of the organization is enterprise grade and it can withstand attacks like, let's say, ransomware or the breach.
And now you have a long history in the cybersecurity field with prominent organizations. You've been in leadership positions at Wipro and Infosys. Tell us a little bit about your specific areas of expertise that you've kind of developed over the years.
So first of all, I had a very humble beginning, right? So coming from a very small state of India, but when I started after my university degree, right? So cybersecurity field, nobody was aware about it. So that time it was just the firewalls or the antivirus that we have to have. But as we go along, right? So I work with so many organizations across, I think more than 15, 20 countries, like in Europe, in UK, in North America as well. So this is how I think I have learned on the job by actually facing the problem faced by the organization and how we have to withstand those challenges. So it's a never-ending job for cybersecurity professional like us, because while we are trying to fix something, at the same time there are bad guys or the hackers who are trying to invent or identify new ways to penetrate your network. So it has to be continuous learning for us. So working with the various organizations, especially working with the Fortune 500, FTSE 100 organizations, the thing is that you are seeing the real life challenges and how you have to maintain balance between the user experience, availability of the services. So, for example, if it's a online retail platform, the timing is very important from a user perspective. In few milliseconds, if it's there is a delay, they might go to some competition or the interest will be lost. But at the same time, being a cybersecurity professional, my job is to ensure that when the user is going to the website, availability is there. Even if there is a attack, non-availability of the system, we have the redundancy planned already. We have the backup plans in place. We have the securing our infrastructure, like for example ransomware or those kind of attacks. So this is how it is happening. So I would say I'm still a learner, not a professional, because it will never end.
Hmm. Now, folks in the audience may not be as familiar with your current firm. Obviously Wipro and Infosys, those are global names, brand names, recognizable. Tell us about Inspira.
So of course I think I've spent around 12 years with Infosys and more than 5 years with the Wipro. I think in a leadership position, and my current organization is Inspira Enterprise LLC. So I have to say, we are catering as of now 4 continents when it comes to cybersecurity. And the key differentiator, I would say, that we are doing only one or two things, but we are trying to do it right. We are offering just a cybersecurity as of today, and AI cybersecurity or AI related use cases, how we have to secure. And that is intentional reason that we want to ensure that our focus is on one area and the kind of a workforce we have. It's not you are serving certain clients, but colleagues also speak to each other. You have the lunch table discussions. So the thought process is always around cybersecurity challenges and what they are doing in other projects. So the learning is happening. So our objective is to be the cybersecurity provider of our choice for our clients. And as of now, we are in 4 continents and we have 1,700 employees as of today. So that's about our organization. If I have to say about the differentiators, because you can see my history, right? Coming from a various large organization and then joining Inspira. Objective here is that we are trying to select best of the breed people from industry, a cybersecurity perspective, and to make sure that we are providing a customized experience to the clients. When we are saying, let's say, Inspira Enterprise, we are not saying that Inspira Enterprise is just 12-year old in the market and we are offering certain substitute. What we are trying to offer to our clients is that we have more than 400 years of experience of our people solving the problems for the organization. That is how we are selling it and try to address various problems.
And how was the firm founded? Can you take us back to kind of the origins of the firm?
Yes, the firm was founded in somewhere close to 2008 in India, Mumbai. So it was founded by Mr. Prakash Jain, and he's a kind of a visionary when it comes to, I think, in India, and he's an industrialist. And it was his third company. Right before that, also, he founded two other companies, which was later acquired by the British Telecom in the past. So he always think ahead, right? So, because he's more like a visionary. So it was started in 2008, started with the initial operations in India. Like as of now, we are serving India's top 5 banks, top energy organizations, top 5 retailers. So it started with that. And then, it spread its wings in Middle East, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, and Asia Pacific. We are working or supporting the regions from Singapore, Manila, North America. We are already doing and based out of our Dallas, Texas. And when it comes to the client base, while we are serving the enterprise, but at the same time we are serving the highly regulated industries, especially the government sector or the federal regulated industries where there is a lot of compliance regulations are needed.
And can you maybe provide an example of working with a client on a particular problem where you feel that Inspira was able to show up and really provide excellent value to that client?
Yeah, definitely. I think there will be many. But I think the key we have is that we cover the cybersecurity, the whole 9 yard. For example, we are not coming and saying we are going to do the assessment for you or the gap assessment for you. We are going to identify problems and then you have to fix it. We're going to provide you the report. These are the gaps. You have to fix it by some other provider. No. So what we're saying, we will do the assessment. These are the problems. And now we have these teams to enforce the controls also for you. Be it technology, various technologies are there, firewall, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, whatever you name it, we have the talent for that also. So once it's enforced, then we are saying we will again revalidate it, whether it has been done the right way. And then after that, because it doesn't make sense in our field that you're doing one-time assessment, enforcing the control and then forget about it. No, there has to be a continuous monitoring, continuous audit and continuous assurance. So then we also offer the managed security services, or I would say the continuous monitoring services to our client. So in nutshell, we are saying, we can be your single neck to choke, but we are taking the overall responsibility. So it's like if you go to any garage, taking your car, you are not going to pay to that mechanic just to identify problems in that. You have to pay to fix that. What I need as an end user is that my car has to be fixed and I can go from point A to B. So that is our objective. So that's why I think we less rely on just asking customer money on identifying problems, but our objective is that we can get paid by fixing the problem. So that's our differentiator and objective because we are very small. So operationally we are quite efficient. So the kind of operational efficient or the OPEX cost, the advantage we are giving that back to our employees to motivate them and that work as a retainership for us and also imparting that cost benefit to our clients also. So I think from client perspective, it's always better, right? You are getting a product or services which is cost efficient, quality product, and it's within your budget also and within the timelines that you need. Because being a small organization, the decision making can be faster and we don't have a lot of layers, right?
Mhm. And you mentioned the variety of sectors that you work in and, the level of regulation or compliance that's needed. Sometimes you're more effective or more
Yeah.
relevant for those areas. Is there like maybe one or two sectors that you particularly focus on because you have a long history in it?
Yeah, so I would say the two sectors predominantly we are very good at. The reason why I'm saying so, because when we started the organization 2008, it started with our first client as a banking client. So BFSI sector, which is a highly regulated, like you need to ensure ITGC control from a cybersecurity perspective, you need to have at least 853. From a data privacy, you need to ensure that there are controls in place. And then we have a country-wise and the state-wise regulations that we need to adhere to. So BFSI, we have a lot of credentials where we have worked with world's largest bank. So that is one sector. Second sector, which is a very important one, and especially coming from a North America, is the healthcare where we're working because healthcare is also very highly regulated. So you need to have a high tech, you have to have a HIPAA compliance, you need to ensure the patient data is secure, it is stored in the right way, it is being handled in the right way. And if we have to decommission it, there is a proper disposal mechanism. So these are the two sectors where we are already currently doing engagements, and our team is bringing the cybersecurity experience plus also the domain knowledge.
Mhm. And in terms of the cybersecurity technology and the things that you particularly pay attention to and read up on, are there certain aspects that you're most focused on in terms of how the technology is evolving?
Yes. So I think the key aspects when it comes to any technology is I have to say, two or three basic pillars. The first thing is that whatever the technology we're going to use, what kind of a data it has to consume. It has to be confidential data or it has to be personal data. So it starts with that. Another thing is that with respect to the technology, is that how the integration into the existing ecosystem is going to happen. Because if it's not happening in the right way or fitting into my broader architecture, definitely there will be loopholes which can be a security threat to me. So traditionally, whenever any new technology adoption has to happen, we ensure that we are getting to the nitty-gritty. And the first thing we start with is the security architecture review of the existing landscape. Then helping clients or looking into the ways to embed that technology into the existing setup. So that first is that it will save lots of money for our clients where we are making most of what is already there, but then defining a strategy for a re-architect. So generally, I use this term a lot that instead of creating from scratch, let's re-architect the existing defenses and make it more robust by putting more layers around it. And I mean, the technology incorporation. So I can give you an example. A few years back when the cloud was new, cloud adoption was very new. People were not aware, but then everybody wanted to have that cloud adoption. So that time also, whenever I was talking to any C-level people or executives, so my first thing, I want you to look into your existing stack. What kind of operations you have, what kind of application you have, whether they can be the right fit for the cloud. And if we are moving them to the cloud, can we ensure the same enterprise grade security which they're getting while they are in their own data centers? And if not, because the cloud was shared responsibility model, few things will be provided by the cloud provider, and depending on your stack, few things you have to take care. So, how to bridge that gap and ensure more controls around it? So that's what I say. It starts with understanding the landscape, understanding the requirements, and then for the newer technology adoption or new hosting things, what should be my blueprint? Do I need to re-architect it? And then looking at more from a risk lens to uncover some of the threats that can be materialized.
Mhm. I imagine, part of becoming a successful senior consultant or executive within a consulting firm, you have to have the ability to recruit talent and a team that works with you and grows over time. Tell us a little bit about what you look for in consultants who can be a good part of your team.
So, first of all, they have to have a ability to learn new things because what is working today might not be relevant in the next 3 years, right? So, first thing, I look in more about that aptitude of that potential candidate, and the second thing, the learning ability and how they decode certain problems or certain questions being asked to them. So that is the first criteria. Even if you are junior, you have a less experience, but you are demonstrating that learnability evidence to me, or you have that hunger to do more. I will hire them because then I can train them. But if there is somebody who don't have that ability, there's no one in the world can train them, right? So they were stuck to that old technology, I would say the ecosystem. So that is not going to work today because today we are talking about the AI. Next year we will be going to talk about the quantum computing. So 3 years back, nobody knows quantum computing. But as the technology advancement is happening, you must have the skill or attitude to learn new technology.
Excellent. Well, Manish, we're heading into the tail end of the conversation. I have two final questions. One question is, can you tell us about a person who has had a profound influence on you?
Can I say two?
Sure.
So I think the first person, it happened quite early on in my childhood, was my dad always, because he came from very humble background. He was not that fortunate like I was that I can have a proper education. So from India, right, to very humble background here. So there were a lot of responsibility he has to cater to at his young age, right? But at the same time, I was able to see, he keep working all the time and ensuring that his family is in safe hands. So like for example, his motive was to send me to the university and to make sure that I'm self-sufficient to build, I would say, the new world or whatever I wanted to do that. So I still remember his words. He always used to tell me one thing, that when I was young, I was not able to enjoy life that much, or was not able to follow my passion because there was a responsibilities I have to. But you don't have that limitation because I'm behind you and I will take care of whatever you need. You wanted to go to cybersecurity, you wanted to do music or whatever, follow your passion. So that later on, like when you will be 50 or 40, you won't regret that. So that always still in my mind. I'll always keep appreciating that. The second person I have to say that somewhere from 2000, year 2000, when I was in my university, Steve Jobs, because suddenly my professor in university gave me some material about to read about that, and because I think one thing I liked about him and still following it, and I keep telling to my team, there's no other way. There will be failure. It's good to have failure because only those can have failures who are trying. Those who are not trying, sitting in a comfortable job, they are not going to have an exponential growth. You can have a growth 1, 2x, 3x, but if you're looking for an exponential growth in your career or in your business, you have to think out of the box. So we have to welcome new technology innovations or anything that is happening, and to make sure that we are adapting ourselves to make most of it instead of claiming about it. People are saying, it will take jobs. No, that's a good opportunity we have in front of us, because some of the things they will take, but it will create a new opportunities for the new world.
Excellent. Last question. Can you tell us about a charity, cause, or other endeavor that you're passionate about?
So there is a one charity which is Brush of Hope, and it's about going to various school, university, colleges, and to bring awareness about cyberbullying, because cyberbullying is the current major issues we have, especially for the teenager, where through the social networking there's a lot of harassment happens. And the thing is that most of the time the kids are not aware what channel to follow, where to report, or to whether to discuss with their parents or not. So the initiative is to bring more awareness in school, colleges, to bring them science. So objective is quite simple, right? We have to tell to the kids, you got a knife, you don't have to kill somebody, but to use that knife to cut the vegetables or to do something with it. So that is the one initiative that we are taking care of. Second is my passion or a cause is to bring more cybersecurity awareness in the industry itself. So for that, we have a community in San Francisco, which is called Purplebook Community. And we have already released 2 books about application or DevOps security. It's a community of all the major CISOs in North America. And there, through that community, also we are trying to have webinar discussions to bring awareness about the cybersecurity for the corporates, for the organizations, and for the cybersecurity or the technology students in various universities.
Excellent. Well, Munish, want to thank you again for taking the time to chat with us today. This has been a wonderful conversation.
Awesome. Thanks a lot and appreciate your time.